I want people to leave my show also talking about it in the car. Like, hey, man, he was funny, but the point he made about this, that was really poignant. I really want that for my comedy career, man. I think that will make me last the test of time. I don't really care about popularity as much. I make sure that whenever you see me live, those are Ryan Davis jokes. Ain't nobody doing material like that. When I literally say I'm the best comic of this generation, it's really the goal. If I feel like a joke can be done by somebody else, I throw it away. You know what I mean? I want to stand out. I want to stand out beyond all of that. And I believe we in a time right now where quality isn't as appreciated as it once was because there's so much out there. You know what I mean? There's no incentive for being great. So I have to push myself to be great.
What's up, y'all? What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Night Vision Conversation. I'm your host, JD. Welcome back. I hope everybody's summer is getting off to a comfortable start. I know it's a lot going on in the world right now, but we're gonna keep it cool. As like I said, as they say in Florida, just keep waking up in the morning. It'll be all right. Anyway, we got a somewhat different type of show tonight, as you can probably see on the background screens. We're going to touch on a comedian that I admire, that I like a lot, that I've been following for a long time now. I think I came in contact with his material a long time ago, back when he was still kind of doing like memes and short videos on social media. Comedian Ryan Davis, yes, the incomparable, the cerebral, the visceral, the mental capacity of this particular brother, this particular comedian, has always intrigued me. He's the first. I think he's like the first. No, he is the first celebrity to engage with me as far as my platform and the platform that we're trying to build on social media and on YouTube. He's like the first one who kind of like engaged me. So this is Ryan. If you get hold of this content, this is kind of like a thank you. This is like a thank you. But like I was saying, I came in contact with his material a long time ago, and I knew even way back then, I'm like, yo, this brother is going to be big. He's gonna be good. If I don't know if a lot of y'all younger folks out there know who this comedian is, but he reminds me of a comedian called George Carlin, God rest his soul. George Carlin was a very great comedian. He was one of my favorites. He's in my top 5. He was that comedian who was, like I said, very cerebral, very thought-provoking, very engaging as far as his dialogue and him being like a wordsmith. And I feel like Ryan Davis is of that same caliber. So I want to jump right into some stuff, some of Ryan's material. And don't worry, Ryan, I'm gonna give you plenty of credit. I take credit for none of this. This is just a humble thank you. But a couple of things that Ryan touches on, and I often agree with him, if not all the time, is he talks a lot about relationships, men and women, and in politics and race, more importantly, race relations as it pertains to America. Now, a couple of the things that he talks about as far as relationships is the happy wife, happy life theory. And we all know how that is. Happy wife, happy life. If you want to keep a peaceful home, you got to keep a peaceful wife. And I know some fellas don't necessarily agree with that in 2026. But if there's one thing that I've learned about relationships is Disney kind of lied to everybody. Hollywood lied to everybody. TV and movies lied to everybody. Relationships is work, let alone marriages. Marriages is probably much more of a business and a partnership, as well as it is about love and all the rest of that romantic stuff. But like I said, the Disney and I'm sorry, Disney, if I'm knocking you, editor, you might have to edit this out. But like I said, Hollywood kind of lied to us. So Ryan kind of touched on something regarding happy wife and happy life that I kind of want y'all to check out in this clip.
Ever talk to a man that's been married a long time? Ask him what's the key to his marriage. He'll tell you, happy wife, happy life. That nigga don't say nothing about honesty. You've never talked to your grandfather and he'd be like, keep it real with a young blood. They love that shit.
Right. So I'm pretty sure y'all check that one out. Like I said, relationships, they can be hard, man. They mostly work. I think a lot of people who are in long-term commitments, long-term relationships, marriages, y'all know that, and I was just talking to an acquaintance of mine about this. Marriage and relationships is a daily choice. Yeah, you're going to love the person. Yeah, you're going to care for the person. Yeah, you're going to want the best for that person. But every day you wake up is a choice. And sometimes that, relationships and marriage is a choice from day to day, sometime hour to hour. I think a lot of y'all out there know what I'm talking about when I say that. So Ryan had a very interesting take on men and women as far as, how we gauge happiness, what happiness means to women and what happiness means to men. Fellas, we simple. I know the ladies think we difficult, and we're really not. I think all men are, for the most part, very simple. We like to eat, we like to work out, we probably like to play video games, probably like to watch sports, probably like to hang out with the fellas a lot, and sometimes we like to have a good time. We're real simple. But, women can be, very interesting creatures, emotionally built. So emotions are fleeting. You never know what you're going to get from day to day. And Ryan kind of Ryan has a clip from a special that he did where he touched on that, and I want y'all to check it out.
Think about a time you asked your man what he did that day. And if the answer was nothing, think about how happy that nigga was to tell you that it was nothing. That's how we operate, all right? Nothing is a great thing, but fellas, do not expect your woman to understand peace. Because to them, peace looks like happiness. And they don't like happiness when they're not around. Because think about a time your man was in the room by himself, staring off into the distance, smiling, and you walk past the room. Did you look at him and go, he looks happy. I'm gonna leave him by himself. He looks happy. Or did you go, the fuck is he smiling about? It better be me. It better be fucking me. And she thinks you're happy, fellas, so she wants to know what's causing your happiness. But she don't know it's peace. So she comes and asks you, what you thinking about? And you think it's a good idea to tell her the truth. And you look her in the face and go, nothing. And that's when the fight starts.
Yeah. I knew y'all was gonna like that one. Ladies probably not so much. But yeah, in the same vein of relationships, Ryan, he touched on logic versus emotion when it comes to men and women. Like I said a little while ago, men are logically built, women are emotionally built, and sometimes those polarities collide. Over the years, I've often thought the creator, God, whatever you believe in, is why did he make the two species the two dominant species on the planet so vastly different? There has to be an omnipotent being up there just looking down at us laughing because it's just one grand joke. Because it's how could you build such a logical creature, then such an emotional creature? It's okay, now make it work. You know what I'm saying? And then it's to make it work so much so that the wildlife gets along better than the one and two dominant species on the earth. But Ryan has a pretty dope clip that kind of articulates my thoughts on that whole thing. And check it out.
Men and women are different. Men are logical, and then we have this realm of nothing that we live in. And then women are logical too, but they also are in tune with their emotions, and their emotions is real to them. Their emotions is the same as fact, all right? We know, even if women disagree, every man has laid down pure fact to this lady, and she responded with, but I feel.
Yeah, I know that was a good one. I know that was funny. I like that one. That one in particular is making his rounds on social media. You know, we can't escape it. We can't escape, especially right now. By the time y'all, see this episode, we would have got some verdicts and got some. We know what's going on out there in the real world. We don't want to touch on that too much quite yet on this platform, but we'll get there as we grow and our relationship with YouTube becomes more of a trusting one. We'll get there. But Ryan often touches on politics and race, and he touches on it quite a lot. And one of the things that is kind of difficult for me, especially me being like a millennial, or more zillennial. I'm kind of I was raised both worlds, millennial and Gen X. So one of the things that is kind of tough for me, and I think a lot of zillennials would agree, is the political correctness era that we living in. When I think I speak for a lot of zillennials when I say we was not raised in a political correct America, especially if you're from the Black American community. We certainly wasn't. I think we all remember how direct and unfiltered the world used to be. And Ryan, like I said, once again, he articulates my thoughts on this particular topic. Check it out.
I don't believe in political correctness, man. For real, I think it's fake niceness. It's part of the reason we have problems in this country today, especially racially, because people think we're a melting pot of races when in fact we're a melting pot of cultures. And no matter how, much we see the same things in this country, we will see them differently because we're raised differently. We're all different cultures. And that's why it's important to have conversations with each other. And political correctness stops that. Remember, no matter what, we will always see things differently. Like, for example, are there any dog lovers in here? Any pet people? You see? You see how they're clapping and shit? They think they're good people. But what is a dog's life before you own it? What? It's out there in the world doing its thing just the way God intended. That somebody calls a dog catcher comes, captures the dog, takes it to the pound, throw it in a cage, then you go down there, buy it, take it home, and make it do whatever you want it to do. That's the plot to the movie Roots. Nigga, that is. Why is it different? Why are you better? Why? Because you dress the dog up? Is that what it is? Let me guess, you put it in unfamiliar clothing? Give it a name in your language? Then the dog finally gets enough courage to run away and get its freedom. And what do? Put wanted posters all over the neighborhood. I'm sorry, lost posters. Lost posters. Because the dog must be lost. There's no way it would run away from my love.
Yeah, that was a good one. So like I said, race and culture in America, it's a hot button issue right now. Like I said, I want to get into more details, and we will, but we all know how this wonderful platform YouTube works. We got to watch ourselves, but it's tough. I'm one of those people who think that we're more alike than we are different, and like y'all see, Ryan said it best. It's not so much skin color, it's more cultural differences. And I'm one of those people that I grew up around everybody. I grew up around whites, blacks, Spanish, Asian, and for me, I got along with everybody. Like thanks to my mother, she put me in really, really great schools all throughout my life. So I was always surrounded by many different people of many different cultures. So it was never a big deal for me getting along with everybody. Because as I got older, I was like, oh, okay, there ain't really too much differences with everybody. What's, one culture cooks chicken this way, the other culture cooks chicken that way, but it's still chicken. It's still the same animal. So, like I said, Ryan perfectly depicts my point on this topic. Check it out.
It's all in how you see it. And you got to understand other people's culture. And really, you ain't even got to understand it. You just got to respect people. And I have a friend who had an issue with that. 'Cause she's like, Ryan, you say the N-word a lot. And if racism is such an issue for black people, then no one should say it, not even you. And I had to explain to her, no, sweetheart, it's cultural whenever I say it. It's only racial when you say it. And I know that sounds confusing for some people when I say, hey, don't say the N-word. Me and my niggas don't like that. But that's the rules, nigga. But she didn't want to hear it. She wanted to win the argument instead of understand. So she took it too far. She was like, well, I believe every time you use the N-word, Martin Luther King rolls in his grave. I was like, shit, that nigga spinning, ain't he? That nigga twirling, boy. I'm sorry, can't use my heroes to shame me.
Yeah, that was a funny one. Race relations is very interesting. It's very interesting because I feel like in the black community, there's this saying, you got to do your part. You got to do your part, however. And I think we all do that part differently. We got some social justice warriors who are out there on the front line. We got people who will show up at courthouses and protest. We got the people who are, when something goes down as far as race relations, they're right there on the ground. And then you got others like myself where I choose to help systemically. I choose to carry the Black American culture on my back wherever I go. Corporate America, all walks of life, different city to city, country to country. And I hold a certain pride and a certain confidence as far as being a Black American in this country. And that's my way of giving back. You know what I'm saying? As far as, I've been blessed to reach heights in corporate America that are pretty high. And I'm always willing to go out of my way to pull others up. So we all kind of go about how we play our part and do our part differently. And again, Ryan perfectly articulates my point on this clip when he's talking about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Check it out.
Even though black people love and respect Martin Luther King, we had several civil rights leaders for a reason. Because not all black people wanted to protest the way Martin Luther King protested. Martin Luther King had black people marching in 120-degree weather, in dresses, suits, and most importantly, hard-bottom shoes. There were so many black people like, you niggas be safe out there, okay? And he believed in nonviolence, which means no matter what anybody does to you, you cannot fight back. Means people hitting you, spitting on you, you want to fight back. And he's like, no, my brothers and sisters, remain nonviolent. Spraying them with hoses, pin them against the wall. They can't even fight back. They want to fight back. And he's like, no, my brothers and sisters.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was one of my favorites by him. That was one of my favorite clips. Yeah, man, it's comedy. Comedy, I grew up, like I said, I was raised in I would say probably the golden age of comedy. I mean, I grew up when the Eddie Murphys and the Richard Pryors were in their heyday. They were in their climax or their prime. So comedy is very important. Obviously, we live in very different times where we're much more, like I said earlier, we're much more politically correct. We got to watch what we say, the whole cancel culture thing, that kind of always looming. So I think comedy has taken a bit of a hit as far as how unfiltered and how direct they can kind of be. And I think that was very evident with the Kevin Hart roast that recently were down. I mean, come on, folks, it's a roast. But okay, again, we're gonna get deeper and we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of certain things as we build this trust with YouTube. But one of the things that I don't like personally is when comedians kind of do their civil wars and their bickering, and I don't think that's a good look. I don't think it's a good look at all, especially in terms of Black American comedians. It's already like a very finite, small space, and you guys are just going to shrink it even smaller by infighting amongst one another. And I'm not a comedian. I'm not from that world. I'm just speaking as a fan of the art form of the genre. I don't like when I see comedians bicker amongst one another. Y'all are one of the only art forms left, I think, in America where, people just have a chance to just laugh and have a good time. You know what I mean? And as I close out, we wanted to keep this one short. We wanted to keep it entertaining. As I close out, Ryan, I want to tell you that you are one of the best, one of the most cerebral, like I said, one of the most visceral, one of the most intelligent, one of the most poignant comedians that I've ever run across in my life. Continued success. I'm always going to support you. Thanks for engaging with me. I think you're the first celebrity to engage with me directly and whatever content I make, got going on out there. I really appreciate you, brother. You are the best. I can't wait till you come to Houston. I will be there front row. So hopefully you get to clown on me on front row. I will be bringing my producer and editor Des to the show as well. She grew up on you too. She was a kid. She used to watch your content too when you was kind of doing the Facebook clips and shorts way back when. I appreciate you, man. You're great. And everybody, this has been a great show. I hope you got to laugh. I hope you took something from it. We will see you next time.
Black comedy beef is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. We can't even afford to be doing no shit like that. Why are you we got the smallest audience and y'all are turning audience against other people within the space. In what sense does that make? Now, we can't even have a dream concert where some of our greatest legends come together to do a show for the culture because niggas is talking shit about each other.
Right.
We can't get a movie with them. We can't get a show with them now. We talking about life and Harlem Nights. That's able to happen because niggas is able to put egos aside to create something that lasts forever. Harlem Nights came out in 87. I was born in 87. Iconicism within our culture takes teamwork. And we don't get Harlem Nights if Eddie don't like Richard and Richard don't like Red and Red don't fuck with Robin Harris and we like nigga.
Right.
Della Reese don't fuck with none of them. Nigga, how are we gonna get it? The only way we gonna get Friday is a classic because niggas were collaborating. Now, because y'all want to make beef the thing, we can't even make another classic. Too many niggas worried about shit that don't matter. We don't even have the power and the infrastructure to be beefing. What the fuck are you doing?
Today.